Welcome to KJTV for your greatest news and programs. I'm glad you're here to listen to wonderful program coming to you. And please don't forget to subscribe or give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Okay, welcome to KJTV live, and we are having a discussion about COVID-19 vaccines, facts and myths. There has been a lot of discussion about COVID-19 vaccine. Some people are reluctant to take the vaccine, and we have had a year whereby we have had so many things happening. Just to take you down the road, here in Minnesota, we have had, since March last year, there was a lot of anxiety about COVID-19. So, and we have come a long way up to here. And I'm going to have two gentlemen on the studio to discuss about this topic about the COVID-19 facts and myths. And I'm going to bring in Zachary Kurgat and Amenya Menya. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, how are you?
Thank you. Fine, thank you.
Well, thank you for taking your time. As we call you here to talk about the anxiety about COVID-19 vaccine, where we have had different people are ambivalent about the COVID-19. So today is almost a year ago, and to take you down the road where we have come from. In Minnesota here, like this ago, there was a lot of anxiety when we got the COVID-19, and we had to go to a lockdown. So according to CDC, we were trying to flatten the curve because the COVID-19 was spreading so much. And if you can see on the screen there, that's the capacity of a pandemic is that if you can put some measures so that not many people are sick to overwhelm the healthcare system capacity, like the ventilators and beds. You can see there on flattening the curve without measures, the capacity will be overwhelmed. So that's why we had to go to a lockdown. Everything was down, and we had to close schools, people not going to work, so that we tried to flatten the curve. And this is what Minnesota is at the moment. So this is, you can see where we started, it went up, it was up there, and then now it almost is flattened. I don't know whether this is a second wave. So basically that we don't know whether we have flattened the curve, but I guess that shows. So if you can see the number of deaths, since last year, we had a spike of deaths, and then we came down, we went up, and then now we have come down. And on the arrow there, that's when we started using the vaccine. And this is the vaccine we are going to talk about. So, what do you know about this COVID-19 vaccine? Amenya.
Thank you, Dr. Charles, for having us here in this show, so that we can just discuss a few issues and a few things about the COVID-19 vaccine, and sometimes to give the clearance of some information which we have gotten about the vaccine, which will be affect the facts to our people, because there are various mixed reactions and various anxieties you mentioned. As I know for sure, number one, what I can say right now, the vaccines with all that's the exercise of vaccination is ongoing, and this one is almost free and is available in most of the hospitals, pharmacy like Walgreens, CVS, and even most of the community driven organizations are just partnering with the various counties and cities to make sure that this vaccine is available to most of our people. So I don't want to scarce much. Maybe my brother will all come in and put some more input, Zach, but I want to say about few things about vaccine and what people should know about vaccine. Number one, the vaccine is still to prevent us from getting infected from the COVID 19 causing virus. And that one, it means if you get vaccinated, you reduce the chances of you being sick from the sick or being ill from the virus. But it does not mean that you will not be infected. That's another fact we should know. You can be infected, but the effect of the infection will be much, much lower once you have the vaccine.
Okay.
And another thing we should talk about this vaccine, our people, we should go out and tell our people should get the vaccine for sure. The vaccine, it will protect you and protect for your family as well. So we can talk more facts as we go on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Kurugat, what do you have to say?
I want to say good afternoon or good evening or good morning to everybody who is listening to us. Thanks for having us over here. Yes, I think discussing or talking about the needs and facts about COVID vaccine is very important. Um, I think my brother Amenya has touched on some specifics, but what I just want to say is ask ourselves, why do we have these COVID vaccines? Why do people have to get these shots? It is because we are already in a pandemic. We are already having this disease with us. And one way of preventing diseases, infectious diseases, by the way, is by vaccination. And it is not only vaccinating against COVID, but we have known in history that vaccines have been used to vaccinate against some of the deadliest diseases ever known to man. Diseases like smallpox, polio, um, name it all, flu, and all that stuff. And vaccination has actually proved to be one of the most ingenious and very important discoveries ever by scientists. And therefore, coming in or the discovery of the vaccines against coronavirus tells us that the apex of science is being practiced here. And vaccines are part of the knowledge that is being exercised in control of this disease. And therefore, as we have a lot of questions around it, let's also remember that a lot of efforts, a lot of science is put into this, and a lot of measures have been put in to make sure that when you are given a vaccine, nothing strange is being introduced into you that is not helpful. That's what I could say at this point.
Okay. Now, I know you are very conversant. You are from the healthcare. How does the vaccine really work? The COVID-19 vaccine. Zachary.
Okay. So let me just say that we have different types of vaccines. As you know, we have what we call the AstraZeneca, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. We have the Pfizer vaccine. We have the Moderna vaccine. We also had the Johnson and Johnson and Stroke Janssen. And then we had the Russian one, the Sputnik one. And then all over the world, there are other vaccines on trial. The main objectives of these vaccines is that once somebody receives this vaccine, your body will generate protective mechanisms to protect you from when you're exposed to that virus, this coronavirus. One of it is to block it from entering into your cells and causing disease. And how that happens is one, when the vaccines are introduced in your body, the body will read that vaccine and notices that it's a strange thing. And therefore, it produces two mechanisms to fight it. The first mechanism is to produce what we call the antibodies. Those are chemicals that are used to kill or to neutralize the virus, or to kill the cell that or cause the cell that has been infected to either die or pour, or what do we say, make holes into that cell and make the cell useless and die. The other one is to produce what we call the T cells. T cells are part of the lymphocytes, or the white blood cells, that will go around looking for those cells that are infected and engulf and destroy them. So that is how the vaccines work. So COVID vaccines are actually supposed to help your body to make sure that if the virus comes into you, it doesn't enter and multiply in your cells and cause more disease, either to block it, or if it has entered some of the cells, to destroy those cells that the virus is already in, so that you are free from the disease.
Okay, thank you very much. Amenya.
Still try to elaborate, and I think has given a lot of information about this. Also, on top of that, I will only try to focus on 3 vaccines which are commonly used here in USA. So, and as I already indicated, or I said, the vaccine actually, their work is to make your body be able to produce antibodies and T cells, which will just protect your body from infection. So, right now in USA, the 2 vaccines, I can say, Device and Moderna, they are the vaccines which uses, if I can say scientifically, what we call RNA, that's ribonucleic acid, and this one's a messenger one. And how it works in the body physiologically is that it gives your body this element of remembering. Whenever you are attacked, it's given. That's a vaccine which uses RNB. I say the one I use nucleic acid. So what does it? makes your advanced cells in the body to be ready, so that they can be able to memorize whenever they get the infection of COVID-related virus. It can be able either to destroy it or prevent it from entering the normal, the normal, or the cells, the body cells. And again, as I said, this one is just there to remind you, to make your advanced cells be always ready. Whenever they feel it, they just spike and create advance and then start fighting the enemy. The another vaccine, the J&J, which I know as from April 13, it was held up by CTC because of some side effects, the reactions which happened in some states. So I think by tomorrow, CDC is meeting with the FDA. They're going to review and see if it's going to continue. But for now, it's not being used. It was held. This vaccine, it depends on what we call viral vector. Viral vector is a medical system. In a way, a vaccine introduced you a weaker virus, but not a COVID virus, but a weaker virus, which will give your body a way it can defend and protect the COVID-19 virus. So those two, that's how they works. Either way, what is meant to is to make your body to be ready. It's like having to build a buffer zone between the infection and your body cells.
Okay. Well, that's you have brought something new. I didn't know that Johnson was using the old traditional way. I think we have like Zachary and you said about messenger RNA. I know those are very technical terms, but this is a new method. But the old method, the traditional method, is where you use the cells, the dead cells of the virus to make the vaccine. I didn't know Johnson uses that, and maybe I would like you to elaborate more about that, because this messenger RNA and the traditional one, why is this messenger RNA vaccine better than the old traditional one. Zachary.
Well, Josh, first thing I would want to say that the use of the mRNA, like in the Johnson and Johnson, is actually not an ancient one. The ancient types are those ones that were used to produce vaccines, like for polio and hepatitis. Those were either killing the virus or the bacteria and then introducing the person to that one to you, or what we call attenuating. Attenuating is making it weak and then introducing it to you. So those are some of the old ways that they used to do to produce the vaccines. The modern system is now using what is called particulate. Particulate is slicing part of the virus and then introducing it to you. And because it causes very small reaction or very little, it elicits very little reaction on antibodies, they add things, a little chemicals there called the adjuvants or polysaccharides or something else. But the mRNA and what Amenya described as the vector, actually the virus that is used to mostly the virus that is used to carry the mRNA of COVID is actually a virus called adenovirus. That is normal, like we get exposed to it every day like common colds, but it doesn't cause any disease. So the reason why we are using this is I like to use an example, a practical example for our people to understand. That in the 1940s or in the 1950s, if you wanted to come to the USA, not even 1950s, 1930s, you had to go to Mombasa, take a boat, go around the Cape of Cape Town, come all the way to West Africa, and arrive in New York probably in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But over time, technology has improved and science has improved. And we continuously go inventing new stuff. Yeah. And some of this is what we have gone to the point where we call precision medicine, where you go precisely to that very target of what you want. For example, in this case of the coronavirus, the target of the vaccines is those spikes. You see those ones that comes like the spikes. Yeah. The vaccines, the target is because that is where the virus attaches into your cell. You block that side from attaching to your cell so that it does not enter. It does not cause what is called the next process called entry. So mRNA viruses, mRNA vaccines, as Amenya said, they are introduced into your cell. And inside your cell, whatever is called the cytoplasm, that is where a lot of proteins are produced and replication. That mRNA will produce a lot of those spikes, and then they will come out, and your body will recognize that this normal cell of mine is producing spikes that is not similar, that are not, it's not the me cells. Well, that's what the science is called, the me cells. So if they realize that it's not the me cells, then the body now will produce antibodies against the spikes. And those antibodies will remain in your system, and the T cells, even if they will die, there's what we call the memory cells, as he said. Some memory cells will remain, so that the next time you are exposed to the real COVID vaccine, it will awaken them and say, hey, we have seen that spikes here. And the antibodies, the B cells will say, yeah, we noticed it. And they'll produce a lot of antibodies, and the T cells will be manufactured or replicated a lot in your body, and they will invade that and make sure that it doesn't cause any harm. So it's a new method. It's not an old method.
Oh, that's good for an explanation. Menya, do you have anything to add on top of that, or are you already exhausted?
I think you're done at that time, right?
Okay. Now, my question comes here. Why is it that the people in the community are so skeptical about taking this vaccine? And what are some of the reasons they are giving out there? You can say, Amenya.
Again, thank you, Dr. Daktari. For sure, our people, most of them are skeptical on taking these vaccines, and I don't want per se exactly give the reasons why, but I can try to allude to some comments from people. We interact with people every day. I guess we have something which you can give and tell the facts about this. for number one, if I can say to our people, the African or Kenyan people who are living in Minnesota, most of people there will believe, number one, which I can say is going to be a mighty, that once you got the vaccines when we were young against the measles, chickenpox, and all that, they just make assumption that uh, they are okay. They feel like they already have they are okay. They have got immunity. They have developed their own immunity. That's what they believe, and they say they don't want to get anything new to their body. They believe that was enough.
Okay.
So there are some who are saying that they want their own bodies to develop their own immunity. So, so they believe still they don't know anything because they believe that nothing much have been done, no much studies have been done about these new vaccines. So they want their bodies alone to come up and build enough defense, enough immunity. And also, there are some who believe that these vaccines are on trial. They don't know the side effects. They believe what's going to happen in the future. People believe that some they say they cause clots. Some they say they're going to make some people think about calm down different ways. So you see, all these are mighty. These people they trying to think about by no facts which they're supposed to be, or have been founded to that. What I can only say, the vaccine has been proven. If you see, you go to Minnesota Department of Public Health and try our Department of Health, there's a lot of database. You can see in terms of demographics, how people have received what number and percentiles. So where are we Africans? So you see, these Americans, let's say white, if you figure it out, the big number have received these vaccines because they already trust what has come out, it has been proven. So what you can tell our people, let's go out, believe this vaccine has been tested and has proven, and we keep on following the websites of Minnesota Department of Health on how we continue giving these vaccines out.
Thank you. Kurugan, what are some of the myths you are hearing about vaccine out there?
So it's I'm looking at it at a broader perspective. In the history of vaccines, ever since vaccines were introduced, because you are giving somebody a vaccine when that person is not sick. So people are wondering, why should I get something when I'm not sick? It is not the medications that I'm getting it when I am sick.
Okay.
And therefore, this brings a lot of questions. And one of the forever question that has ever come around in every vaccine ever since is population control. People are they are saying that vaccines are introduced to reduce a certain population or a certain race or a certain whatsoever. This is a big myth, and a lot of us buy it. And the reason why we buy it is because sometimes we like it. We have a lot of misinformatics outside there, especially when they quote some scientific or historical trials of things like the syphilis. If you remember the syphilis trial, they will tell you and say, you see the syphilis, they tried it on black people, and you know the effect, they are trying this on us. There is what I would like people to understand is that this disease is affecting everybody. It is not targeting a population. And as much as it is affecting a white person, it's affecting an African and everybody else, and everybody is struggling to get what is called to survival. You know, self-preservation. Everybody wants to be alive.
Yeah.
And two, these vaccines have been tried on all classes of human beings. It's not only tried on individuals or in whatsoever. And for this, let me make a disclosure. I am part of those people they tried a vaccine on.
Okay.
Because I wanted it to be tried. Why should I consume what has been tried on other people forever and not we?
Yeah.
So I am one of them. I gave myself up and said, I'm going to go for that trial, and I received it.
Okay.
And recently I had a disclosure. I get the real thing, I get the antibodies, I'm protected. So people should go. So you should not think that it was tried on other people. It was tried on some of us. I am one of them.
Okay.
Another reason why people buy a lot of these myths is because of the wrong information that they get. We get a lot of misinformations. In fact, the WHO recently released a statement and it said, in every month, 900 million misinformation about COVID-19 is churned in the website every day. Definitely. 900 million.
Yeah.
And that's why they came up with that and say, before you forward anything about COVID, think twice, assess, call somebody, try to find it from the scientist. And then the other thing that, obviously people will always ever say is like, okay, they created the disease so that they can create the vaccine so that they can sell it and get money. The business factor on that. Well, I think the world is beyond that. The world, a lot of ethicals, a lot of laws, a lot of regulations and everything will never allow anybody to create something that will wipe out some population so that they can make money. That one we're out. That one is out. So what I want to tell our people, as Mr. Amenya said, is that this disease is here with us. If we dwell around these conspiracies and about this and on all that, we will die. And my question I always ask people, would I rather die of the disease or rather die when trying this vaccine? Which one?
Which one would be best to die?
Yeah. And given this, look at the population, the number of people who have received vaccines. In the US, we have more than 200 million by sometimes today. How many have died from the vaccines? Think about that before you summarize. You come with a summary and say, I'm not going to go for this vaccine. That's the much I can say.
Thank you. You raised a very good point about the conspiracy. I remember very well when we were in primary school and President Mo introduced free primary milk.
Yeah.
And the conspiracy came that is to control population, so we are not going to get kids. And our parents were worried about it, but that one was a conspiracy. We ended up not having those issues.
And actually having more babies than their parents.
Yeah, we are.
So don't forget it that even recently in Kenya, there was what is called targeted immunization against tetanus in the pastoral communities. And so in Kenya, they introduced vaccination of all mothers between 19 and 49 or of childbearing age with tetanus, tetanus vaccine. And immediately there was a conspiracy theory that they want to reduce the population of the pastoralists. And it was even being propagated by some doctors and some scientists. It's like, the question is, are those evil minds or they are ignorant minds, Okay. So the question of population control, it's ever there and it will continue to be there. Bring another disease, bring another vaccine, and it will still come.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Amenya. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. And thank you, sir. You have tried to elaborate the main things here and those conspiracies and all that. And thank you so much for that input. And again, I want to come to the same topic and I give some information here, which are very important. One, for sure, there are some people or some of us who are worried. They're not going to go in for this vaccination because of the pre-existing conditions which they are going through. Some they say that, okay, if you have this and this condition, you get a vaccine, you're going to make your life more in danger. So it might be true or not, but what I can advise our fellow members, our fellow people, if you feel you have got the pre-existing conditions and you are worried about the vaccine, better check with your doctor. Check with your doctor, tell them this is what it is, then your doctor can give you any more information than we can give you now. Number two, for sure, the pregnant moms. There are some who already they are the initial stages of pregnancy. They are not sure if they are pregnant or that. If you doubt yourself you are pregnant or you are not, please check it because this vaccine I think is not given to pregnant mommies. So not yet. The facts behind it I'm not clear, but I know pregnant moms don't get vaccines. Those are some information we want to tell our people. But the thing is, as Sak said, the COVID is here, and the COVID has no class, has no ethnicity, has no race. So let's go for it. One thing I want to make a point here, and if I think it's by yesterday, there's this thing, and again, it's one fact about COVID. COVID affects each and every person. However, the young people are more not likely to be experiencing more the worst effects of the disease, but they can be infected and they can pass it over to another person. So when you see the database of the people who have received vaccination in Minnesota, the black people, let's say the black African Americans, where we belong, a very small percentage, we are back anyway, whereby between the age of 15 and 44.
Mm.
Age of 65 and above, we are almost a par with the white people. So,
Mm.
but young people, they don't believe that still they can get disease. So it's better for them to know that the vaccine now is available for 16 years and above, and
Mhm.
they are likely to be sick. If they cannot be sick, they are likely to transmit it to another person. They can be carriers. So the best thing to do for these guys, let them go for the vaccination. That's what we are advocating for.
Okay. Yeah, that is a very good appeal. And uh, you see, Zachary, there's something you talked about, even the doctors who are trying to spin the information. Actually, I have to confess, I saw another clip about the vaccine before the vaccine were rolled out. This lady, this was a medical doctor, was saying how that messenger RNA was going to go to the nucleus and then he has to alter your DNA and then you will have problems. But surely, when I went to read about the messenger RNA only works on the spike, does not go even to the nucleus. It goes to the cytoplasm. So, what can you tell our people? Because people tend to believe people who are like doctors, who are specialists. Uh, we believe on them what they say because they are learned on that area. What advice would you like to give maybe professionals, health professionals like doctors, nurses, when they are talking about this vaccine? Maybe some myths about the vaccine. Amen.
Uh, Actually, what let me try to give like a symbolic. Uh,
Mm,
a cell which is now which contains life, that's what we are protecting. When you are infected, you protect your blood cells from
mm,
invasion of the COVID-19 cells. So
mm,
let's assume the blood cell is like a house, and then the house inside we have what we call the organelles. Now that's where the ribosomes are, and all other things, mitochondria and whatever. This one is anatomy of the cells, and these
mm,
are the one which constitutes the life of the cell. Now, that's what is being protected from being invaded. If the virus gets through the cell and attacks these the things which constitute, which make the life of a cell, then the cell is gonna die.
mm,
Actually, now the war is like now the proteins protecting the cell. Now that's
mm,
where mRNA now that's where it protects the COVID-19 causing virus. So when it sparks, then
mm,
it goes like attack. It goes like a war. Saying no, you
mm,
cannot get here. So the thing is, number one is supposed to happen either to kill the cell or to
mhm,
weaken the cell. So to make the both cells more stronger. So that's what is anatomical science, which most of
mm,
our community may not understand. But the
mm.
only what you have to understand is or let's say the healthcare professionals, what we can say, let them give the people right information to have to explain using some images that this is the cell and this is how it works. So that's how the vaccine is.
Okay, Zachary.
Thank you. One thing I just want to, one thing I forgot is to discount is there is speculations or their thoughts or their information outside there that your body can develop immunity against the virus. If you take ginger and lemons and honey and everything else, that your body will be ready, will have immunity so that when the virus comes, one thing I just want to say, your body will never develop an antibody or an immunity against anything that has not been exposed to. So you
Okay.
can never develop unless it is exposed to you, either directly infected or you are given as a vaccine. So if you are not infected or you are vaccinated, however healthy you are, next time you get that vaccine, the virus directly, your body will not know it. So those people who go telling people that you can drink a lot of water, hot water, herbs, and all that stuff, so that you can be protected from it is good. Yes, drink, eat, all that. There's a very, very good. It will keep you healthy. But those are not the immune antibody creators. Two, I wanted to respond to what you said about some of the health people or scientists who are sending a lot of information there. One thing I want to say that nobody is an absolute repository of full knowledge. Nobody of us can just say because I'm a doctor or I'm whatsoever, I have the complete knowledge. And also knowledge is dynamic. So whatever you knew 20 years ago might not necessarily be true today. And whatever I know today might not necessarily be true tomorrow. And just as we all went through, probably when you did your, referring to a Kenyan education system, maybe you did your O levels and you are very good, you had an A in everything, but in one thing you had an E.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, majority of the people in healthcare have this question of immunity and vaccines as a very difficult subject. I remember when I was doing a course, I remember that a lot of people, I don't know, I don't want to say including me or not me, was struggling with this subject. And therefore, you know, what I would just want to advise the people is that we have a lot of resources outside there too, being churned out by our professional bodies, institutions. You know, do whatever is called a meta-analysis. Read what other people are writing. Read what other, you know, try to understand what the universities, the CDC, WHO, and all these others, scientific, you know, immunologists and virologists, you know, get from them. And as I said, knowledge is is now not reposited within a sphere of people. It is now not only the doctors. It is we have virologists, we have even engineers who are dealing with how the virus looks like, and they can tell you. But the background knowledge is not medicine, but it is engineering or information technology and everything else. So let's look at it at that. We look at meta-analysis. Let's see what other people have given out before we churn out our own information. Okay. And it is worth to say, this is my perspective. Don't say that is the truth, absolute truth. If you want to say something, say, this is what I think. That's what I could say.
Thank you very much. Now, Menya, you wanted to say something on top of that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, on the top, there's something Saka said, and I feel it's very necessary. I think it's very necessary people know about it, about developing cerebral immune system against COVID. Yeah, and as I said earlier, most of the people believe whoever got sick from the COVID infection, they feel that of course they got well. They still feel that they develop their own immune system, so they don't even. That's why they even don't bother going for the vaccine. Again, what I can say from my point of view and from few researchers I've gone through, there's no clear indication that whoever has been infected before has built the infection. We should be aware of that. So there's such things ongoing, but there's no clarity about this. There's no definite answer that once you have been affected or been ill of this disease, you are built the immune system. Therefore, even if you are sick or not, please go for infection. Okay, before I think our time is running, let me go back a little bit, Dr. Taliban, and give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, there are like 2 facts I want people know about the vaccination. I feel like the time is going. Number 1, once you get the vaccination, it takes about 2 weeks so that you can be able to develop the immunity. Okay. So that's why you get the vaccination, the first dose of, let's say, of Pfizer or Moderna, and then you get a second dose after 21 days for Pfizer, 28 days for Moderna. In between these two, in between the shots, you can be infected and become positive and become ill. Okay. So know that in between the shots you can be ill, but as per the literature we see or as per CDC, still what you are like to do, isolate yourself for sure. If you have known you are in between the shots and you have got ill or infected or you are positive, go isolation. But that one does not mean that you not go for your second dose. Okay. Unless there's a side effect, a reaction. There's a side effect and a reaction. If there's a reaction, that's a different thing. But if it is a normal side effect, you have been infected, you should go in for the second dose. Another thing is, there's some people, there's one person who asked me in the comment that once I get this vaccine, is it going to be for life? The answer is, from the literature, again from CDC, is nobody knows how long the effectiveness of the vaccine in your body is going to be viable. So,
Okay.
which means the studies is going. So, as we keep on following this, as more surgery are being done, we know how long we are supposed to go in for another third dose, another, or that one is final. Those are the facts I feel like our people should know as we go along.
Okay. Thank you very much. I know you are community leaders. Zachary, you are the, I don't know whether you are still the president of GOTAP, and Amenya Menya is the vice president of Mwenyegetinge. So I want you to use this. Tell us, what have you done in your communities to sensitize people to go for vaccination? Zachary.
Um, one thing I just want to say is that this, as Amenya said, before I go to that, is we all need to understand that this is a new disease. And so we don't have enough data to tell people how long the immune system is going to be active. But we pray that as we understand the disease, it becomes that one that we get these vaccines and we don't come back for another one. But if the vaccine keeps changing, new variants comes around, we might end up having vaccinations every year like flu shots. One thing that I wanted to mention is that when people, I want to tell these people that when you get that vaccine, definitely you'll have those shoulder pains, you'll have the headaches, you'll have the fevers and whatsoever. That is good. If you get the vaccine and you have a mild illness, it means that your body is responding to that vaccine. And therefore, don't say, hey, I went to this vaccine, got this vaccine and it made me sick, it gave me corona. No, that is called eliciting of the reaction. So your body is building the antibodies. The other thing that I wanted to add on that is that people are asking this question: can we mix the vaccines? If I get Moderna today, can I get Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson? For now, those are different vaccines, and for now, no studies has ever been done to see how they work. Although there is a projection that probably they're going to do a study to see how it's going to happen, the priority this time is to vaccinate people with the current the current protocol as much as possible before we start thinking of the other ones. Okay. In terms of sensitizing the communities about this, one, it is continuously in our forums. We discuss about this. We tell people, and people actually, majority of the people show that they have gone for vaccine and say, I've gone for vaccine. Have you? From my studies from GOTAP, Minnesota, a lot of our people have gotten it because majority of them are healthcare workers, by the way. And so falling in that cluster, they are healthcare workers. And whenever we know that there's vaccination being given somewhere, we tell our people to go. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the link that the Mwenyegetinge and other groups got so that they can bring their people together so that we can have that vaccines. But if we can get that link, definitely we'll try to bring our people together, get the vaccines. But the thing is, we as leaders are promoting and telling everybody to get vaccination. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Amenya.
Thank you, Dr. And thank you, sir. Number one, let me start to say for sure on behalf of my Mwenyegetinge leadership, of which Madam President is aware that I was coming on this show, is that we had been frontline giving the information to our people when we have vaccines available. We did before for people aged 65 years and above, and we had been partnering with the city of Brooklyn Park, and we appreciate help to us. And again, right now, what I can say actively, and I think at the end of this show, I'll give Brother Shag the link he is saying about the exercise which is coming on Friday, on Sunday, this coming Sunday 25th.
Okay.
This exercise is it's a vaccination exercise. That's the main point of it. But in between, some other things which are going to happen in between. I think we're going to have some dental checkups and dental kits, and I think we're going to have some COVID testing, and I think we're going to be providing some masks and sanitizers and some food distribution and such. But now, about this COVID vaccination coming on Sunday, which is spearheaded by Mwenyegetinge, within cooperation with other bodies like Mushale, like AMWAG, KDL TV, and others like CAPI, and even the Department of Minnesota and the City of Broken Park. So our goal, as we said in our website, we were targeting to reach 200 people. Already, I think the number we are by now. But the cities are all as over as the city and the county that they're gonna give us many vaccines as many of our people would have available on that day. That's Sunday.
Okay.
So this exercise is gonna be between 11 and 4 p.m. So, Mr. Sack, pass this information to people, and actually, what I'm gonna do when I'm gonna send this link to you, they're gonna do the application. They're gonna fill the information, and then so that we can try to collect the data how many people we have. It will come direct to our portal, but it does not matter. It's a Kenyan, whoever it is, they want everybody to be vaccinated. Well, once your neighbor is vaccinated, then you are safe. So that's what our ultimate goal. So what I can tell our people who are watching now, please, on Sunday 25th at the City of Broken Park, let me give the address is 5600 1850 Avenue North, Broken Park, Minnesota, zip code 55443. Come there, our Manyatinga people and other frontiers will be available, and will be helping you on how to get this vaccine. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend. If a neighbor has not received this vaccine, that's what we are advocating, and that's what we are telling our people. Come and get vaccinated. We want to get everyone protected.
Okay, thank you very much. Our time is over. I really appreciate for you coming over. Thank you very much for the information, and I wish you the best. So I hope you to vaccinate everybody by Sunday.
Thank you.
Welcome to KK TV for your latest news and program.